I mean, what should be the punishment for the person who dared to do this? She asked with smirk. Everyone around looked at you, making you sweat. Before you could speak, Jungkook interrupts. I think it's enough for today. Everyone get back to work. Everyone left the room on Jungkook's order except for you and Maya. You were still standing silently, looking down, while Nora was giving you a concerned look. Wyan? You got out of your thoughts. Let's leave, he said, holding your hand. You nodded at her words and headed out. Jungkook and Maya were watching all of this. How long are you planning on unseeing the possibility of her standing against us? She asked, looking at Jungkook, who still had his eyes on your back as you left. I said I want to believe her. He looked away. Seriously? Did you forget who she is? I didn't. Jungkook, be honest. Do you have something towards her? She asked, making him pause. There was an awkward silence in the room, and neither was ready to say anything. Finally, Maya broke the silence. Your silence is saying a lot. Jungkook headed towards the door, but got stopped by her words. Jungkook, it's either love or revenge. You can't have both. I hope you know that. You do, right? She asked, making him slightly look behind. I don't hold your revenge against Wyan, but I'm just scared. I don't want you to suffer anymore in this never-ending game. Maya, do you truly love your fiancé? He asked, making her nod in response. I do. Then won't he be hurt if you don't trust him enough? He asked and she went silent. I have already made a mistake before, and repeating it will be a stupid move. Is she really someone you want to trust? I'm still not aware what this feeling is, but I want to trust her. I really want to, he said and walked outside. You were busy rearranging all the documents completed and suddenly your phone buzzed, making you glance at it. You picked it up and it's a text from your stepmom. It said, When are you getting me the documents I asked you for? Looking at the text, your grip around the phone tightened. Wyan? A familiar voice made you look up. You were stunned to see Maya standing in front of you with a few documents in her hand. You were quick enough to hide the phone. Yeah, you asked and she raised her brows at you as she noticed you hiding your phone. Ignoring that, she continued. These are some important documents. I want you to work on them along with us, she said, handing over the files. You took a look at the files and your eyes went wide. We are working on an important project with Asia's #1 companies. If we miss this, Jones Corporation will go to ashes. So we are taking all the trustworthy candidates. You know what happened at last time, right? She finished, making you stay quiet. I will get going. Make sure you go through them by tomorrow, she said and walked away. These are the documents she wants. You looked down at the documents that were in your hand. Wyan, if you pass this, I will never go against you anymore. But if you choose to betray Jungkook, I will make your life miserable. It's in your hand now. She looked at Wyan from afar. We are looking forward to working together. Mr. Park lifted his hand up towards Jungkook for a handshake. Jungkook took his hand with a soft smile on his face. Mr. Park smiled at you and left. Mr. Tim, Jungkook's secretary, was not well and Maya had another important meeting to attend, so you were asked to accompany Jungkook for your meeting. Sitting in the front seat next to Jungkook, who was busy driving, you glanced up at him. Jungkook noticed it but didn't react. You want something to ask? He asked, making you freeze and look ahead. No. You looked away, your stomach growled, making you turn stiff. You didn't eat anything since morning as you were busy working on the files for the meeting. Hope he didn't hear that, you thought to yourself embarrassingly. Jungkook stopped the car and walked out. You gave him a confused look, thinking why did he stop the car midway. He walked to your side and pulled open the door. Let's go. Go where? You thought to yourself, but followed him anyway. He brought you to the cafe, which didn't seem to have many people around. It was small, but it was a beautiful and warm place to just think and observe. How did I never know such a beautiful place existed here in the city? You thought to yourself as you looked around. There was a mellow music playing in the back around, making you feel peacefully. Sir, can I have your order? What would you like to have? He asked, looking up at you. You were a bit taken aback. Did he come here because I was hungry? You thought to yourself. Jungkook ordered for you too. After 10 minutes, the server returned with your order and you started eating it. Jungkook was watching you eat while taking a sip of his coffee. Do you come to this place very often? He just glared at you before replying. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have. Yes. Suddenly, your phone buzzed, grabbing both of your attention. You grabbed the phone from the table and looked at the caller ID. It was a call from your stepmom. Jungkook noticed your uneasy expressions and asked, Is something troubling you? He raised his brows at you. Should I tell him everything? You thought to yourself as you looked at him. No, I can't risk it. You looked down and were about to say something until a familiar figure approached you. Jungkook? You and Jungkook looked around and spotted Sojin walking in your direction. What brings you here? You asked him, making him laugh. Well, I'm the owner, he said while flashing a smile at you. You looked at Jungkook in surprise, who was busy drinking his coffee. You run a cafe? You asked in surprise. Not really. This is my private space, you can say. Only available for a few. I was planning on bringing you over here, but it seems like Jungkook was fast enough to do so. He laughed, you smiled in response. I have got something you could be really interested in. Wanna see? He asked, you nodded in response. Leaving all your stuff behind, you follow Sojin. Jungkook watched you to leave. Sojin walked you to the room, filled with beautiful sketches and paintings. This is absolutely stunning, you said, making him smile. Looks like you and Jungkook are getting along, he said out of the blue, making you look to the side of him. He was still looking at the painting ahead of him. Well, I guess so. Do you love him? He asked. His question freezed you at the spot. After not getting an answer for a while, he finally averted his gaze towards you. I don't know, he replied in a low voice, making him smile sadly. You should have been quicker to reply. The phone kept on buzzing again and again, but this time it was a text. Jungkook ignored it, but the text kept on popping on your phone screen, so he picked it up from the table. He didn't mean to look it at, but suddenly another text popped up, which grabbed his attention. Bring those documents to the Kim mansion tonight. I can't wait anymore. That's what the text said. Jungkook gripped around the phone tightened. A look of great bitterness swept across his face. Breathless with anger, he stood up and walked out of the cafe. 10 minutes later, you and Sojin returned back, but Jungkook was missing. Sojin turned to the cafe server and asked, Where did he go? He left 10 minutes ago in a hurry, he replied. At Jungkook's home. Jungkook headed straight back to the home and entered your room. He started searching your room upside down, but couldn't find anything. Soon his eyes turned towards a drawer to the bedside. He walked towards it and opened the drawer just to find all the documents and important papers inside it. A wave of disappointment rushed through him, and with shaking hands, he started going through all the documents. Suddenly, the door of the room opened, revealing you. You were stunned after seeing the state of your room and next your eyes went to the other side just to find Jungkook kneeling down to the floor going through the files. Jungkook, why did you come back without informing? Why? He interrupted you. What do you mean why? You asked without getting his question. You stood up slowly and turned around to face you. His face was fully with rage. He threw all the files to the ground right in front of you and shouted his lungs out. Why? You took a step back as this was the very first time you ever saw him this angry. I'm not getting you. You gulped down your saliva. He took out your phone from his pocket and showed it to you from afar, making your eyes go wide. I trusted you. Why did you do this to me? There was a shade of disappointment on his face. You couldn't control the tears that filled your eyes. Exactly why? He yelled, and you made no response but to just stay still at the spot looking at him with teary eyes.